Okay, so this has been one of those days that if it could go wrong, it did go wrong. So in the attempt to show you how to make the video, it was an awful video and I ended up having to trash it. So you'll see the end results. In fact, I might show you that first. I don't know. It was it was not a difficult recipe whatsoever. It was a casserole. It was an enchilada casserole, chicken enchilada casserole, and it's worth making again, isn't it, Papa?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's what it was. It was leftover chicken. I had a leftover chicken breast and some chicken that was actually take home from a restaurant that we'd gone to the other day, and I chopped it up into pieces. I made a cream sauce out of broth, heavy cream, and I went ahead and added some cheese to it and then thickened it with arrowroot powder. And so it was this kind of like a bechamel sauce, but it had a little bit of cheese, but it was much thinner. I think the sauce could have been thicker and it would have eliminated some of the moistness of the dish. So anyway, it basically was like a lasagna. Put down a little bit of sauce, put down some not gluten-free, some low-carb tortillas, layer some chicken, some cheese. I had some peppers and onions that I cooked up to reduce the moisture on. I put those down. I put another layer of the tortillas and just repeated it until I ended it with a layer of cheese. Then I topped it with a little bit of chilies, green chilies, and onion, and some more cheese. I did add to the chicken mixture, I added sour cream, spices, taco seasoning spices, half a can of the chilies, and a little bit of Rotel tomatoes, and some sour cream. So that was the chicken layer. And then you bake it off at 350 for 30 minutes or so. And I ended up putting it back in. Now, Larry and I both agreed that we thought there was too much moisture in it. When low carb tortillas, or I guess any tortillas, get a lot of moisture in it, then they become soggy, and I don't like that. So I did end up sticking it back in the oven, probably for longer than I should, because it's pretty brown now. Here, I'll show it to you. Maybe not. Now you can see that this is much more brown than the original one that I showed you, and there's still liquid. Look at all that liquid in it. Can you see that? There's a lot of liquid still in it. So what I decided I would do is, it's definitely worth making again. But next time, I am not going to put the sauce in between the layers. I'm going to put the chicken, the peppers, the tortilla, and the cheese layer, maybe some onions. And then I'm going to put the sauce just on top and make it thicker. Put it just on top and bake it off that way. I think that will be much, much better. But let me try this after it's been in the oven for a little bit. Oh yeah, that's much, much more firm. I bet you, I think I gave it like a 6.5. I bet you I can give it better than that now. Much more firm. That's a pretty big bite. You think I can get that in my mouth?
Oh, sure. Told you so.
That is lots better. Still going to drain off some of that liquid probably, but that is much, much better. I just don't like those soggy tortillas, and sometimes you can't avoid it. But as I said in my closing statement, I think that there are a few ways that we can try to combat that. Good joke. Anyway, I'm going to make it again. I will try to record it the next time I make it again. And I'll try to get it right next time. Anyway, signing off. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Hi there. Nani's back. Okay, so today I am going to do a chicken enchilada casserole. Now this is inspired by the fact that I have some leftover chicken in the fridge that I need to use up. And I love Mexican food, and Papa's okay with it, so he'll eat it. He'll eat it too. So I've got my ingredients here, and I'm going to kind of start assembling. I am roughly going off of a recipe that I saw on YouTube from Papa G's website or YouTube channel, and but very roughly, because I'm changing some things and adding some things and subtracting some things. But he is a good resource. So what I have here is I have my chicken, and this is leftover. This came from lunch on Saturday, Flat Creek, and then the breast I had when I made some chicken noodle soup at the end of last week. I have all of my ingredients here. I have my chilies. I have a can of Rotel. This is different, Rotel tomatoes, or Aldi version. This is different. He did not have that in there. A little bit of taco seasoning, some spices like garlic and paprika and red pepper, and some cumin. The other reason that we're doing this is because I have like 6 avocados that are going to go bad, and so I have to use those. I have some heavy whipping cream. Calls for chicken broth, but I have beef broth in the fridge already open, so I'm going to use that. And he used xanthan gum, but I am going to use arrowroot powder. He's made this in a casserole form, and for me that looks very convenient. And this is also something that I could possibly use on a Wednesday night for the church. Now, when I have Mexican food, I like some sides with it. I like refried beans, and I like Mexican rice. Well, Larry hates rice. Okay, I'm back. There's going to be a little glitch in there because I got a phone call from someone about my aunt, an issue that she's got some issues going on at her home, and I got Aunt Carrie, and I got a phone call about that. So anyway, I don't know where I was exactly, but this is a casserole that I could possibly use for the church. I think that's where I got caught off when I was saying church. So anyway, I'm going to try one of these versions of rice. I have a Kaizen that you cook. I have a Miracle Noodle rice. And then I have an Aldi Simply Nature Organic chickpea and lentil that you would also cook. And I'm going to mix it with whichever one I decide to use, and I'll let you know in a little bit. I'm going to mix it with some cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice is not my favorite, but I have found that if you saute it first in the pan and get it really, really dried out, that it's better. So anyway, I'm going to start working on that. And I've also got on the stove, I've got some frozen peppers and onions that I'm cooking up. I think I'll try to incorporate them at least on half of it because Papa does like a little bit more of that stuff than I do. So I'm going to put you on pause while I kind of get organized here and get my chicken chopped up. I'll do that first, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Now, I've got my chicken all kind of chopped and shredded, roughly chopped. Some of these I'll probably make a little bit smaller as I get ready to put it in, because you don't want it big. You don't want a huge biteful. I have my Ninja little chopper here. This is a handy dandy little tool, and I'm going to show you just very quickly. I can't do it while it's standing up, and my cord won't reach, but I'm going to just press this for just a couple of seconds. So I just did it like 3 times, and I had quartered that onion, and look at that. Look how much that's chopped up. There is one kind of sizable piece in there, and I will chop it down in a minute. But I'm going to start crying if I start smelling that. But this is a great little tool to have. I use it a lot. In fact, I actually have 2. Renee gave me one that was very similar that has a few other attachments to it, but it is so good that I keep one of them in my little to-go bag. My to-go cooking bag. You give these peppers a quick stir over here, and I'm going to turn the heat up so some of that liquid will evaporate. Peppers and onions. Okay, got that. Now, and I'm going to just let this roll, and then I am going to cut it and edit it where I can. So if there are choppy pieces, then I apologize. Right off the bat, I'll apologize. Okay, so next I'm going to make my sauce. And the way that he made the sauce is he took in a saucepan about a medium-sized one. He put a little bit of chicken broth, and I'm going to use, again, beef broth. And I'm going to say I'm going to put a good cup. A little bit of heavy cream. About a quarter of a cup. And I may add more. And I'm going to do a little bit of minced garlic. Teaspoon. About a teaspoon of my chili seasoning and my taco seasoning, and the rest of it I'm going to pour on top of the chicken. Okay, so here's the finished result. I didn't go into detail on how to make all of this other stuff, and I will do that sometime on a separate, but if I did, we'd have a hour and a half long video. So that's the faux rice. It's cauliflower, that miracle rice with some seasonings and stuff, and I'll let you know how it tastes. And this is our casserole. You did see how I made that. And boy, I think that turned out great. If this tastes as good as it looks, then it's going to go on the rotation for Wednesday night. I put a little side salad together. There's our guacamole. The avocados were absolutely perfect. So let's hope they have some flavor. Larry will use those chips. I will use those Quest protein chips because anywhere I can cut some carbs, I'm going, and they're not bad. A little ranch if you want it on the dressing, salsa, and that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to put it on pause, and we will do a taste test. Okay, Papa, I know you're about finished. We've had phone calls and interruptions. I'm going to have to start using my other phone to do the video taping with. What do you think about that? That way I won't have to stop and start and stop and start. Okay, so as you can tell, the plate's about empty, so I guess he didn't hate it.
No.
We do think that there are some things to change about it. What are your opinions, Papa?
I thought the casserole was very delicious. I really did. I like it. It's something that can be eaten on a regular basis.
It's low carb.
And, of course, with the salad, that's good. The avocado was really good today.
That was the whole point of I was baking a Mexican thing was so I could use the avocados and the chicken that I had up.
Well, it worked out good.
Okay, so what's your rating on it? As is, not with any tweaks.
I say it's between 7 and 8.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
Okay, I'm going to pause it, and then we're going to turn it around, and I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay, well, I've already eaten mine.
Scarfed it down.
I think I was hungry. Okay, so here's my honest opinion on the casserole. It was too wet. So where I put the sauce and layered it with the thing, I'm not going to do that next time. Next time, I'll assemble it exactly the way I did, with the exception of putting the sauce in the layers too. Next time, I'll just put the sauce on the very top. And of course, as it cooks, it'll go down. The other reason why those tortillas are soft is because they're gluten-free, and they, but so I could use chips, or I could maybe heat them up a little bit in the air fryer before I put them in there to give it a little more structure. I don't like it when it gets soggy. So the rice, Larry felt like the rice was too wet, so I'm gonna heat it in a pan on the stove to see if I can dry it out a little bit. I hear it over there crackling. I'm probably burning. The guacamole was excellent, and these chips are fine for me.
Those
I
are
will
good
use
chips.
These chips all the time. I wish I could buy a big bag of them. Anyway, so my version would be as is, a 6.5 to 7. but it has the potential of being an 8. Okay?
Yes.
All righty. We're good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and remember that the best memories are made around the table. May yours be filled with family and friends. Bye.